Hey guys, YouTuber100 here, and that big disgusting mop that was on the top of my head, I finally got rid of that. So yeah, gosh, yeah, I really just hate when my hair becomes like that. So yeah, I mean, I just really have to get my hair cut more often to prevent that from happening. Because yeah, I like it better when my hair is really short like this. But yeah, at least now I got rid of that for now. And anyway, yeah, so here I am, continuing with the Land Before Time reviews. Here I am with a review. Oh, sorry. Yep, disc fell out. Yep. Anyway, sorry about. Anyway, yeah, continuing with Land Before Time reviews. Here I am now with the review for the Land Before Time 2: The Great Valley Adventure. So, like I've told you before, I did like watching like the first four Land Before Time sequels, like all of these movies right here. I did like to watch growing up. Like I still did like these sequels growing up. So yeah, I guess you can say I am kind of partial to these. Like I'm gonna be like a bit more like lenient on these since I liked watching these ones growing up. But nevertheless, I still did like enjoy this movie a lot growing up. But even now, I mean, I can still say like I do think it is still like a decent film. I mean, for like real big fans of the first film, I can probably see why they really wouldn't really care for this film, especially like as a direct follow-up to the original film. Because yeah, this one really doesn't have as much like heart into it as the first film did, and yeah, it just it really isn't doesn't really like have the same emotions that the first film did. But I mean, as its own thing, as like I guess a direct-to-video kids film, I think it is like just fine. I mean, I don't think this is like really the worst thing in the world. I mean, it does have some pretty good animation for a direct-to-video film, and yeah, they of course like had like a lot of replacement voice actors for the characters in this film. I think the only voice actor they had returned for this was the actress for Sarah. I think everybody else has like a different voice actor in this film, and yeah, they all the replacement voice actors in this movie they are still pretty good. Like I really do like the replacement voice actor for Littlefoot. I think he's really good, and yeah, for Ducky and Petrie, I think they're good, and yeah, just real quick, I forgot to mention this in my review for the first movie. If you watch these movies, you do know, but yeah, of course, like, Spike in the films, he really doesn't talk very much. Like, in all the films, Spike really only says, like, a few words. But yeah, Spike is usually, like, the one who doesn't talk at all in the films. So, yeah, just wanted to get that out there real quick, because I forgot to say that in my review for the first film. But yeah, and of course, like in these movies, like Littlefoot's grandpa is voiced by Kenneth Mars until like the 12th film. So yeah, Kenneth Mars is probably the actor that really stayed on the longest for all these films, and it's really surprising that he did. And yeah, just I think like all the voice actors in this film, they do really good. There really isn't like any like major main plot to this film. Yeah, this film is really just basically the concept of this is really just it's taking place probably like very shortly after the first film, and yeah, just showing that all the dinosaurs in the Great Valley are like in peace there. It's just really peaceful for them in there. But it's also showing that there are like still some dangers in the Great Valley, despite the fact that Sharpteeth can't get in. Because yeah, in this film, like it's revealed that there's like some kind of great wall around the Great Valley that prevents any like Sharpteeth or any creatures from outside the Great Valley from entering. Yeah, and in these films, like, they refer to the land outside the Great Valley as the mysterious beyond, but that really doesn't really make a lot of sense because how is it really mysterious? Because, yeah, in the first film, like, it was shown that everybody who was in the Great Valley really came from there. So why do they refer to it as the mysterious beyond? I don't think anybody really knows why, but yeah. And yeah, in this film, like, the villains in here are like two Struthiomimus, Ozzy, and Strut. And yeah, they like are like the type of dinosaurs that steal eggs from nests and try to eat them and stuff. And yeah, like I said in my review not review, but my video when I counted on the top 12 songs from this, like they kind of are the dinosaur version of Pinky and the Brain. Speaking of that film, that video, in that one I like said Ozzy and Strut were raptors. They aren't raptors. They're like I said, they're Struthiomimus. Yeah. So yeah, I guess I like screwed up a little bit there, but yeah, I'm correcting that now. Yeah, and so in this film, like they're like trying to steal eggs throughout the Great Valley, but Littlefoot and the others end up like stopping them, and then they just after they ruin their first attempt to take an egg, like for some reason they try to extract revenge on Littlefoot and the others by taking them out, which I'm not really sure why they do that, but yeah, they could just like brush it off and just continue to find new eggs and stuff. But yeah, for some reason they're extracting revenge on Littlefoot and the others. So yeah, I'm not really sure why, but anyway. And of course, this film also does have the introduction of Chomper, and there are fans of these films that really do seem to love Chomper. Chomper is like a baby T-Rex who's really friendly to Littlefoot, Sarah, Ducky, Peachy, and Spike. And yeah, he just like in these films he only has like a few appearances. Like he's in this one, the fifth movie, and I'm not sure if he's in any other ones. Yeah, there may be like some of the newer ones that I haven't seen yet. Maybe he's appears in those. I don't know. And I remember like Chomper like did appear in the Land Before Time TV show before. So yeah, Chomper I guess like for like the limited amount of times we see him in the Land Before Time, he seemed to like really make a big impact because there are people that really do seem to love him. Yeah, but yeah, this film, there's really no like main concept of this film. It's just like basically them living their new life in the Great Valley and just showing that there are still like dangers inside. And also like in this film, like there's like this small bit where like apparently Littlefoot is frustrated with how small he is and he really doesn't like it and he wants to be bigger and stuff and so he tries to act bigger like an adult for this film a lot, and so do the other kids. Like the other kids are kind of tired of being babied, and they just want to be treated hid better and as if they're older. So they try to act older at points in this film. And so yeah, and the songs in here, I do like the songs. I included all the songs in this movie in my video where I counted down the top 12 best songs. Yeah, it has like of course the Egg song, which is really good. You're One of Us Now, which is pretty good, and Peaceful Valley, of course, which I also really did like. So yeah, some decent songs in here, a decent premise of this film, and some pretty good characters in here, and it does have some like kind of good dark scenes, I guess. It has like the scenes with the volcano where it has like the lava oozing down, and it also does show like at some points it looked like the kids could maybe get killed and stuff. And there's this one point where Chomper's mother like ends up like taking down Littlefoot's grandpa, who looked like about to kill him and stuff. So it does like send some chills down your spine at some points. It's in the film. So yeah, I guess like while it's definitely like really not nearly as great as the first film was, it is still like it does try the best it can do as a direct-to-video film. So yeah, I do think overall it is a pretty decent film. I would give this probably 2.75 stars out of 4. Yeah, no masterpiece or anything, and not on par with the original, but I still do enjoy it enough. Alright, so yeah, I rambled on for several minutes, so yeah, let me just get right into it. Alright, as the film starts off, it has like the narrator like explaining like this is like really long ago, in the time of the dinosaurs. Yeah, pretty much like all these films really started the same way with the narrator explaining like this is taking place long ago in the time of the dinosaurs and stuff. So yeah, it basically has that opening narration for every film basically. Yeah. And the narrator was explaining how the plant-eating dinosaurs found safety from the carnivores in the Great Valley, and he introduced Littlefoot, Sarah, Ducky, Peachy, and Spike again. Yeah, and then just shows they're singing Peaceful Valley, and eventually, then like the narrator says that while the plant eaters in the Great Valley are safe from sharp teeth, there are still dangers in the Great Valley, and then it shows Ozzy and Strut. Ozzy really like just wants to eat eggs, and Strut he's not really as picky as Ozzy is, and he doesn't really mind eating plants and stuff, but Ozzy won't allow it. You know, and yeah, like I said before, they just like are trying to get eggs to eat in this movie. And it's just showing that Littlefoot is trying to do what his grandpa can do, but it's just showing he's too little, and it just makes Littlefoot really angry. And then Littlefoot then goes to play with his friends, and then they eventually decide to go to this place called the Sheltering Grass. But Littlefoot reminded his friends that it's on the other side of what they call the sinking sand, which is really just a tar pit, and it's dangerous for them to go there without their parents. But yeah, Sarah basically ended up talking everyone else into going anyway. And as they were trying to figure out how to get across the sinking sand, Sarah then just told them they should just jump from rock to rock like her father does, and Sarah tried to show that she could do it also, but she ended up falling into the sinking sand. And then yeah, one by one the others just tried pulling her out, but then eventually all five of them ended up falling into the sinking sand. And then the parents could all hear the kids screaming, and so they ended up saving them. But yeah, then just the adults were not pleased at all that they did went against their wishes, basically. And then, as night was starting to fall, Ozzy then was singing the egg song to Strut. And then, Littlefoot's grandparents were just, giving him a lecture that how they don't want to lose him. And he needs to be patient as he grows up, and he needs to stay close to the herd. And then, later on that night, then Sarah just got all of them together, and then, they were just, they basically all got the same lecture, and they were just, trying to come up with ways on how they could be treated more like adults by their parents. And then they ended up spotting Ozzy and Strut stealing an egg from Ducky's nest. And so then they felt that that was an opportunity for them to prove themselves to the adults. And so they gave chase to Ozzy and Strut to get the egg back. And then it eventually led into the mysterious beyond. And then Ozzy and Strut ended up running into a cave, and the kids gave chase. Yeah, they followed them in. And eventually, after Ozzy and Strut saw the kids, then it just caused a commotion and everyone went crazy. And then it eventually ended up causing a rock slide, which ended up making a hole into the Great Wall of the Great Valley. And it had also showed then Ducky's egg ended up just rolling back into the Great Valley and right back into the nest. And it was unbeknownst to the kids that the egg went back into the nest, and so after they escaped from the rock slide, they then just thought that the egg was smush, but then they ended up mistaking a bigger egg for the egg. And so then they brought that egg back to the Great Valley, but then they saw that Ducky's egg was back in the nest, and so they were trying to figure out what to do with the egg that they brought back, and they just decided to take care of the egg until it hatches. And then eventually Ozzy and Strut then recovered because they ended up being buried into the rocks. And once they got out, they then just swore revenge on Littlefoot and the kids. And then, yeah, Littlefoot and the others were taking care of the egg, trying to lay it. And then the egg eventually hatched, and then it revealed a baby T-Rex or a sharp tooth inside. And yeah, the kids all got scared and were starting to run off. But then Littlefoot saw that he really wasn't dangerous since he was just a baby and he was real friendly. And Littlefoot eventually decided to name him Chomper. But then he, after Chomper then, bit a bug and started eating it, Littlefoot then knew that he had to try to teach Chomper to eat green food like him, but then, it just didn't work. And then eventually, Ozzy and Strut ended up chasing Sarah, Ducky, Peachy, and Spike, and then Littlefoot came to their aid, but then as Ozzy was moving towards Littlefoot, Chomper then arrived, and it was just Chomper's shadow that was seen, and it was making Chomper seem like a real grown Sharptooth. Then Ozzy and Strut eventually just ended up being scared away and jumping off a cliff. And then Littlefoot then introduced Chomper to Sarah, Ducky, Peachy, and Spike, and then they sang the "You're One of Us Now" song, and at the end, as they were starting to run in a circle, well, then Chomper ended up biting Sarah's tail. And then, yeah, Sarah then just decided that Chomper couldn't be with them and he had to go. And then, yeah, they were just like trying to tell Chomper that he really can't act like a sharp tooth in the valley. And then that just ended up upsetting Chomper, and Chomper ended up leaving. And then the rest of them ended up like following Chomper, and Chomper eventually like ended up on a volcano, and eventually Ozzy and Strut like saw the kids, and then they were cornering them like by a pool of lava, and then like eventually the volcano ended up erupting and lava started oozing down, and so the kids ended up just trying to outrun the lava, and then Chomper eventually ended up saving them from Ozzy and Strut again, and then Littlefoot then like used his long neck instincts and acted like a grown long neck and pushed a tree across the canyon to as a bridge for them to cross over, and the kids all ended up crossing over, including Chomper. But as Ozzy and Strut were crossing, then the tree just ended up being burnt by the lava and collapsing, and then like it then like showed then the two other grown-up T-Rex had entered the Great Valley through that hole in the Great Wall, and then yeah, like I said before, it was later revealed that they were Chomper's parents. But yeah, then they were giving chase to the kids, and after like the kids got away, Littlefoot then like knew that it was their fault the sharp teeth are in because of the rock slide they caused. Yeah, and eventually like all the adults ended up fighting off the two sharp teeth, and then like as the grown-ups were questioning how the sharp teeth even got into the valley, the kids then revealed about what happened with the rock slide causing a hole in the Great Wall, and so the grown-ups then decided, knew that they had to close it up for good, but the kids needed to stay behind as they did it. And then Chomper like just ended up wandering off, and Littlefoot went off to find him, and he eventually did. But then Chomper's parents gave chase to Littlefoot and Chomper again, and after like they ended up being cornered by the sharp teeth, like it, after Chomper roared back at them, it was then like shown that Chomper was actually their son, and so they ended up taking Chomper and leaving with them lovingly. But then Ozzy and Strut then appeared, and then they ended up like capturing Littlefoot, and they were planning to throw Littlefoot off of the Great Wall. And Chomper and his parents could hear Littlefoot screaming, and so they came to Littlefoot's aid, and Chomper's parents chased Ozzy and Strut off. And then, as all the grown-ups were arrived to close up the wall, Littlefoot then just sent Chomper off into the mysterious beyond to go with his parents. And yeah, Littlefoot was just telling Chomper that he really couldn't take care of him anymore, and he would miss him, but then they may meet again someday. And yeah, then Littlefoot, Sarah, Peachy, and Spike all said goodbye to Chomper, and yeah, it is like, yeah, I would understand this would get people kind of choked up, because it is kind of like a little sad just seeing like this character that had the kids all really loved, just seeing him have to go. Like it is like I would understand this would get people choked up. And then yeah, Littlefoot then helped the grown-ups to close the hole in the Great Wall. The grown-ups like pushed some rocks down into the hole, and then Littlefoot then like launched another rock at some rocks that were on top of the wall or something, and caused them to break down and fall to close up the wall for good. Yeah. And then yeah, it just then showed like Littlefoot and the others were just playing, and one by one they just all went home. And yeah, Littlefoot was then just telling his grandparents that he does feel that he likes to be a kid, but he still looks forward to growing up. Yeah, yeah, and then it just cut to credits, and then yeah, it just had like the full version of Peaceful Valley playing the movie out, and that's how the movie ended. So yeah, like I said, 2.75 stars out of 4. I mean, yeah, it's no masterpiece material or anything, and yeah, I would understand like people that really did love the first film if they're not fans of this one, seeing how it's really like doesn't have the heart that the first one did. But I mean, as a direct-to-video film, I think it does the best it can do considering what it was given. So yeah, I still like to enjoy it. I feel like it is a decent sequel. So yeah, I guess like this is worth a watch if you're interested. Alright, so yeah, that is from our review of Land Before Time 2 The Great Valley Adventure. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and stay tuned as there are still many more sequels yet to come in these Land Before Time reviews. Alright, but anyway, thanks for watching this review. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later.